Hey guys, Corky here, and in today's video, I'm here to give a review of a play that spent 30 plus hours in Zenless Zone Zero, whether it is in fact justified for Zenless Zone Zero to be overhated, right? Whether some of the criticisms is actually valid. And to reference or to give some context, right? I'm currently level 33 in the game, and I've completed some of the end game content. I would say Holo Zero as well as Shield Defense. I've cleared up to stage 7. So 7, it requires 2 teams, so I'm unable to do so right now. I'm completely free to play. I'm only rocking 1 team, which is the Grace MB as well as the Piper Anomaly team. I do have Ellen, but I have yet to invest in her because I think that the game will be a bit more fun if it's less easy, more challenging. Now with that out of the way, I'd just like to first touch on 3 topics that a lot of people have complaints on, and that is going to be the combat system, the TV system, and lastly the story. So the first one being the combat, I think that personally, just to give my opinion, I think the combat is quite fun. And it is really easy. So people say that the combat is very easy. I do agree so. And even though I've entered into the end game, right, for the first 15 to 20 hours, you basically just mash buttons and you can complete the game. And Mcash has even done it like blindfolded on some stages just to prove a point. And people that are saying that, oh, it's just because you didn't play enough, you didn't go to the 20 plus hour mark whereby the game becomes difficult, I feel that that is a bit of a stretch, right? Who is to say that someone that played the first 6 hours and have mediocre gameplay enjoyment is going to play until the 15 hours mark before they can be qualified to give a review? The early game is as important as the mid-late game. So for people that are claiming that just because the end game is good, this qualifies all of the opinions of people to say that the early game is trash, it's really unjustifiable. And some fighting game players actually claim that, oh, it's just because you haven't discovered the combo, it's really intricate, the complex system, but the game just doesn't incentivize you to do so, right? Because it's so easy. This is similar to you sometimes recommending a show or anime to a friend, and then they'll just say, oh, I watched the first episode, I dropped it because it's not fun, the world building isn't great. It's similar to that, and that is a justifiable comment or criticism for the game, right? I don't see why people are having so strong opinions about the end game being great, hence disqualifying the early game. But that is not to say that the gameplay or the combat isn't fun. I personally found that the sound effects of the game, the combat, is really good. And with the sounds on, if you play with sounds on, you are going to feel like the impact is very distinct. You're going to feel like you're hitting something, the moves feel good, and the chain system, although it is a bit of an autoplay system, right, whereby you just spam left click, you are able to go through the whole system of the chain attacks when the enemies is being dazed up. It still feels good to actually look at it. So I think this is more in the casual gamers alley, whereby they don't have to do much, they can feel like they're doing a lot. So this is quite good, this is quite satisfying. If you are after a long day of work, right, if you just feel like relaxing and playing something that makes you feel good, Zenless Zone Zero is up your alley for sure, right? For people that want something that you have to dodge, like pinpoint perfect, you have to parry perfectly, Wuthering Waves might be up someone's alley more. So I think this is completely justified, right? 2 camps, but personally I think it's quite fun. So justifiable, I don't think it is an unfair criticism to say that the combat is too easy. The second one being the TV system. So for the TV system, I personally fall into the camp whereby some parts of the TV system is great and some parts is not good. And after thinking hard and long about it, I realized why I dislike some parts of the TV systems. And I believe it's the same for some people. It's because they add in the story into the TV system. So when you are experiencing the TV system, they will randomly have NPCs prompt you some words, right? Especially in the story playthrough, they will try to insert themselves, and then it's not through the cutscenes, it's through the TV system. So it makes the TV system seem like it is very, very chore-worthy. You have to listen to all this yapping going on within the TV system and not being prompted with cutscenes to elevate your experience of looking through the story. And these are not skippable, by the way. And the second thing is also because the TV system, they have added this speed up function, and you might think this is great and all. However, Hoyu games, I don't know if it's a bug, but they always make the speed up function default back to the non-speed up form when you start another commission. So this is like they're trying to force you to experience it in the raw speed. And sometimes I'll forget to go to 2 times speed, and I feel like, wow, this is so chore-worthy. And once I click the 2 times speed, I feel a lot better immediately. So I feel like they should make it default if you already selected it. As a player that really dislikes all this yapping, right, I think that will help a lot. And to prove my point, right, I just like you guys to think about the TV system in Holo Zero, which is a game mode that I actually enjoy. I think the TV system in Holo Zero is totally fine. It doesn't seem out of place whereby I'm forced to listen to yapping. In fact, I just traverse through the TV system and then I get the buffs that I need. I go to the next stage, I play, and I get to fight itself. I don't have to listen to all the yapping. So I feel that the main difference is yapping. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But if they remove all the yapping or allow you to skip within the TV system, I think that will be completely fine. Now, moving to the story of Zenless Zone Zero, I will first like to give a disclaimer. I'm not a story person. I've skipped through all of the story aspects that are skippable in Zenless Zone Zero, so I don't know exactly what the story is about. However, I do understand that there is a huge dome and it's a big deal. The news is reporting on it. And this is where I have little problems with it. I don't really care personally, but I can see why people have problems with it is because they will think that the world building sucks, and I would agree. The freaking dome is out there, there is a crisis, right? Supposed crisis, that is a big deal. However, your main character is just out there doing commissions for people, looking at the cats, trying to snap pictures of the cat, and doing all this random stuff, right, that is not related, and the people don't feel like they are in a crisis mode. So I feel this might be a big problem for some people, and I can see why they have criticisms of it. So I think it's somewhat valid, but of course, I haven't played through every single cutscene. I wouldn't know if it's exactly good, but me personally, I think a lot of yapping for sure for the non-skippable parts as well. So this might be why some people have problems with the story. Now on to the other aspects of the game that I will review. The first one being the overall gameplay. This game gives me very much Persona vibes. So you go around, you go through your day, there are different events of the day, you just complete the commissions back and forth. And I can see why this might not be up everyone's alley, but personally, I don't think it's that big of a hassle. I think it's quite fun to have a bit of variety aside from the combat. So if you're looking for a strictly combat game, this might be the problem why some people think it's bad. This is advertised as a combat game, but you have so much of the random stuff going on that you have to go through before you can actually go into the combat. The second thing is going to be the gacha aspect. So as this is a gacha game, obviously we have to talk about gacha aspect. My impressions of horror games, I haven't played of other horror games, but everyone has been telling me that horror games is very stingy with their currency. But for Zenless Zone Zero, I think it's okay, and I'll give my reasons why. I think they are giving quite a bit of currency for you to pull, and I think why I also feel this way is because of the characters themselves. So I'm only using like quote-unquote free-to-play characters, right? Because this is a beginner banner character. So regardless of which unit I am going to get, I will be able to form a team and to build a team up. And also, right, I feel that in general, each and every character feels playable. So this is contrary to some of the games whereby the free characters, the A rank, are absolutely useless. You only want the rate ups, you only want the 5 stars, the S ranks. And for Zenless Zone Zero, even though I do not use Alan, I still feel that the game is playable, the game is still quite fun, and they have different distinct types of fighting styles, right? So some of them you use guns, and then like Piper spin to win. I really like the spin to win aspects. And also the character design, right? It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I personally think at the very least we have to all admit that the character designs are very distinct. They are very good to look at if you are not anti-furries, right? So like Banbro here, Banbro is one of my favorite characters. I'm going to build a fire team one day down the road. I think they all have their distinct features and I don't mind it too much, except one thing. MB and Soldier 11, they look too alike. There was one time during the Soldier quest itself, since I built MB, right, I'm using two. I don't know which character I'm switching into. You can tell for yourself, right? Look so much alike. The color schemes, the hair color, all look alike. So yeah, this is one of the problems I have, right? Other than that, I think the character designs are totally fine. And one more thing is also that I really like the bang boos. So the bang boos are freaking cute. Yo, this is really ridiculous. Like I'm currently like going for my second bang boo. I got my first one, which is the plug boo, but you can see all of them, right? They are very distinct and they have very cute features. So this is also what is carrying the game. I feel bang boos are absolutely fantastic. And along the line of good character design as well, like bamboo design, all this kind of system design, right? I feel like the game is also well optimized. And the reason why I say so is because from playing so far, right, it doesn't seem like I've encountered any major problems. Sometimes the loading screen take a bit long, but in general the loading screens are fairly fast, and this game has a lot of loading screens. Some people might not prefer that and think that we can cut down the loading screens to that. I agree, but if you think about it, right, the loading screens load so fast, so I feel like the optimization is definitely there, and definitely this is what people like for Hoyo, right? Because they have so much money, they can put in a lot more time and effort and money into making the game run well, and Zenless Zero runs really well, so that I have to give it to them. However, the same can't be said about their character progression system. I feel like the character progression is kind of difficult to progress, right? Especially when you think about the resources, simply because there are too many systems. I feel there is the bank boost, there is the character, there is the weapons, there are the core passives, the skills, and then there is also the drive disc. So many things that you need to upgrade a character. And the resources they give, right, although it's enough for the first team, I'm thinking for the second team and onwards it's going to be quite difficult, especially if you're free to play. But that is not to say that it is not right for the game, because if they are targeting casual players, right, to get to my point, right, my stage where I spend 30 plus hours, it'll probably take you half a month or 2 weeks or 1 week if you're a bit more hardcore. So I feel that it's fine, I guess, because you are going to get more dailies done if you play throughout a longer time span, going to get more stamina. So from that end, maybe it's just players like me whereby we like to speed through games, right, whereby it's going to have a bit more of a problem. For rest of the casual crowd, I don't think there's going to be much problems. So that is on the progression end. Now overall, my experience with Zenless Zero have been somewhat positive. I would say it's a decent game, 6.5 or 7 out of 10, and this is also because I ignore the story part, right? If you have to read through everything, maybe you'll drop the score a bit. As for people that are claiming that this is a trash game, I think this is quite nonsense, right? I'll take definitely not a trash game at all, quite polished in fact, but is it a perfect game like some of the glazers are saying? Nope, this is not your perfect game, right? So for people that are claiming one end or the other, please wake up your idea. This game is there but not there, okay? So that is my thoughts on it. My best thing that I like about this game is going to be Holo Zero. The roguelike system, I really do enjoy it. And if you ask me what I don't like, it's probably the TV system with the yapping, and the second one being that the stages for the combat itself is quite repetitive. But other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing more updates from Zenless Zero. I'll continue to play it. As with Whirring Waves, I also enjoy both games, right? I think there should be a middle ground whereby players can enjoy both games, right? It shouldn't be one versus the other, but I do understand tribalism in gacha games is really ridiculous these days, especially if you go to gacha gaming Reddit. That place is really quite annoying, to be fair. I try to stay away from those people. So this is just my thought. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.